Welcome back to Almost Above Average, and today we are diving into resilience, leadership, and legacy with a truly remarkable guest, Quintus McDonald. Quintus is a former NFL linebacker with the Indianapolis Colts, a Penn State legend, an Ed Block Courage Award recipient, and the visionary founder of I Am Recycling Incorporated. His work as a mentor and public speaker is changing lives, and his involvement in the Unblinded program is helping countless people master influence, mindset, and purposeful success. I'm one of them. So, Quintus, thank you so much for joining us today. To kick things off, let's walk through your journey from the very beginning. Can you tell us about your childhood and what it was like growing up, and where did you grow up?
Well, thank you, first of all, Chris, for having me. Thank you for being a shining example of letting the Spirit of God guide you into truths. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be here on the, what's it called? The
Almost above average. Almost above average. Yes,
Well,
sir.
listen, we are far above average.
Yes,
You
sir.
are far above average. You might want to think about changing the name of that, brother, because there's nothing below average about you.
Thank you.
God has blessed you with a tremendous amount of gifts and talents, and I see them coming forward from the day that we met to this day, right here, right now. So we bless God for that.
Amen.
Yes, sir. So a little bit about me. I was actually born in a small town in North Carolina called Rockingham. Some NASCAR fans may know that from the Firecracker 500. Richmond Raceway, Richmond County Raceway is in Rockingham, North Carolina. My father passed away when I was very young, so my mother moved north with her older sister to Montclair, New Jersey, to start a new life, essentially, after losing her first husband, her first love, which was my father. So the transition began. And I tell people that, I'm a city boy with country roots. The country boy has never, ever left me, which is how I ended up at Penn State. Just if any of you have ever been to Penn State who are listening in today or future broadcasts, you know what State College is like. You know that it's nestled inside of Mount Nittany and the beautiful, beautiful countryside that's there. So that played a major role in how I ended up at Penn State. My country roots. Growing up, you mentioned, Penn State and the NFL with Indianapolis. And, I ended my career wearing their colors today with San Francisco. I did not do that on purpose.
I forgot to mention you were on the Niners as well. My bad.
Yeah. My route into college, I come into Montclair, New Jersey. It was kind of a perfect situation and scenario for a young man with the athletic gifts and talents that I was born with. From the community center that was right around the corner from me in the Fourth Ward, all of the iconic men who had a chance to pour into me, from the first Black captain of the track team at Notre Dame University, Mr. Aubrey Lewis, to the first Black captain of a Big Ten basketball team, Mr. Wally Choice, to Albert Pelham, who was a absolute genius in helping youth see other opportunities outside of the athletic playing surfaces, who actually mentored me in the creation of I Am Recycling Incorporated. Mr. Pelham did. I call him Pine, Mr. Pelham here, because he deserves that respect, but he's like a family member. In fact, his mother became my mother's surrogate mother after my grandmother passed away in the 8th grade. So my father passed, and I would go back and forth to North Carolina for summers. In fact, I was still there in school until the middle of the 4th grade.
In Rockingham?
In Rockingham, yes. Okay. Until, going back and forth and in school in Jersey, struggling, the Southern drawl and fighting all the time and it was a lot. But finally,
did you have an accent when you got to Jersey from North Carolina? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That got me into many fights, and there were never fair fights because I was always big for my age. So it was, me versus multiple people, which played it helped with my athleticism, and it helped with football. Being double teamed and all of those things was no big deal
Absolutely.
for me. It was nothing new. Coming to Montclair specifically was just a beautiful thing at that day and time in the early 70s into the 80s. When I graduated, now all of these men who had gone before me had a spotlight on our high school, and we were very highly ranked in the nation. My first 2 years of high school, sophomore and junior seasons, we were ranked in the nation, playing in a conference that had multiple teams ranked in the nation. So Jersey had been a hotbed of talent, and our conference was certainly a tremendous hotbed of talent. Many of us that battled in high school then played against one another in college, and then even played against one another and with each other in the NFL.
That was a good time period for football players, it seems like, coming out of that area.
Absolutely, 100%. It was a tremendous time period. So that's kind of what childhood was like, growing up in Jersey. And of course, my story is well documented that there were challenges and drug and alcohol addiction. That disease of addiction took a toll. But what I know to be fact is that it was preparation for the work that I do today. And, would I do some things differently? I'd make different choices, without a doubt. I'd make some different choices in life if I had the chance to go and do it over, because I had made enough mistakes to be able to impact some people and pour into lives. I just kept on making
It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing to talk about, because I feel that so much, that I did so much in my past that now I have that experience to give to other people that I wouldn't have if I didn't put myself through that stuff. So I understand what you're saying completely.
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about God is he has given us dominion. We have choice out of all of creation. No one else has a choice in the matter except humans. We have the opportunity to decide whether we want more pain, we want to stick our hand on the hot stove, or we want to understand that, that thing burns. Let me go and do something different. So,
did that start in high school? Were you drinking in high school and it kind of rolled into college and then just got out of control?
So it was out of control from the very beginning. The day that I made a decision to drink and the crazy part is I made that decision based on my emotions, because we had been cheated in the state championship game on our own home field. And it blew my mind that grown men would cheat children. Didn't make sense to me. And I got drunk at them because I was in pain. From that point, the hook was actually set in me. The hook was set. I didn't, it was a terrible night. Not only, throwing up on people, throwing up in the party. It was a terrible situation. And the next morning, sitting at the breakfast table with my mother, looking at me with this look, she said, "I bet you won't do that again." I said, "No, you're right, I won't." And that was Sunday morning, and before Friday, I was drunk again. So the hook was absolutely set, and it never got any better, really, until I came to myself and asked God to help me. We bless God that day was October 25th of 2010.
Congratulations. That's a long time.
Well, thank
Congratulations.
you. I mean, to God be the glory. It's only by God's grace that I made that decision and have been able to stand on God's promises and God's word moving forward. And it took what it took for me to get to where I am today, which gives me the opportunity to help men and women around the world, literally.
Right here.
Yes, you included, indeed. And just the fact of the matter is that in helping others, it as a servant, we get served by God. The more you give, the more God gives to you. There's parables about God giving seed to the sower. So the more that we give of ourselves, the more God can pour into us. And that just strengthens us and makes us stronger and prepared for what's next. We grow and grow and grow. And God continues to bring new things, man. I mean, we got a new thing that I want to talk about when we get to it. And, I'm long-winded, so interrupt me, bro.
Dude, this is a podcast. Open forum, man. This is a podcast. You can do whatever you want here.
Yeah.
This is a space to get it all out,
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
That. Speaking of getting it all out, go to Amazon if you really want to hear some detail about my life and what God has done, more detail than we'll go into here today as my chair keeps acting silly.
You get maintenance over there.
Yeah, there we go. Excuse me. You can go to Amazon. We've got a Amazon bestseller in 3 different categories.
Nice.
He chose me for this journey. It is an easy read on purpose, but it goes into some detail about decisions that I made in my life and what those brought about and how God blessed me and has kept me. Of course, it's not exhausted, but it gives you great insight into who I am, who Quintus McDonald is as a man, how I got to this place in life, and really where we're going. And I say we because it's me and the Holy Spirit that dwells in me, that leads and governs and guides me to do the things that I've been called to do. We got some great things on the horizon. I'm super excited.
What is the title of that book? I'll link to it in the show notes so everyone can find it.
Okay. He chose me for this journey.
He chose me for this journey. That's on Amazon right now. Is there an audiobook version?
Is it? Yeah, Amazon. No audio version.
Okay.
Thought about that, and it makes sense because of my distinctive voice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I know a guy, Quintus. I know a guy that can do all that.
Really? How about that? So maybe we'll get some reading done. Maybe we'll do that.
We can knock that out for sure. So that's on Amazon. So when did you write that book?
I want to say it was published maybe in 21.
Oh, I'm a little offended. You're talking to a podcaster. I didn't even know you wrote a book.
Well, you didn't know I played football either.
That's true. You know what I knew about you when I met you? I knew that you said some stuff that I needed to hear that day, and it called me to come talk to you. So that's all I knew about Quintus McDonald that day.
Bless God. Hey, Here's one of the men that I work with who lost his wife a couple of months ago, and I'm going to bring him on the podcast if that's okay with you. Hey,
Absolutely.
Big brother, how are you? You the man. Listen, bro, we're on a podcast together right now. Wayne Kimball is in the building, one of the founding members and founding owners of Jewel Premium Sanitary Napkins, and he is our logistics VP. And he's in the building with us right now. Wayne Kimball, say what's up to the people.
What's up, Wayne? Yes, sir. Thanks for being on the podcast impromptu.
Right.
I know if you're messing with Quintus, you got to be a good dude.
Yeah. This is Christopher McIntyre. Christopher has a podcast that we're going to change the name of. Chris, go ahead and tell him the name of your podcast. For
Almost Above Average. Almost Above Average, Wayne. Yep. That's what I'm saying. It's a clever name. It's super clever.
It's super clever, but Wayne, you know we are all about excellence, and this young man is about excellence as well. That's why I told him on his show that he's going to have to change the name.
Absolutely Above Average.
There we go. Just now.
Boom. New title coming soon. Hit subscribe.
Coming soon. Excellent. Hey, big bro, we gonna be in town on Friday, man. So let me holler at you later. I'm gonna finish up here. I love you, brother. And I can't wait to see you on Friday. Okay, peace. Yeah, man. We four men, and our wives, of course. All of us are married, but 4 men came together to create a wellness company, a feminine hygiene company. And people are always saying, they look at me and like, you're 6'3", 300 pounds. What are you doing?
I don't associate you with women's sanitary products ever. That's the last thing I would associate you with.
Exactly. And all of my partners are men's men. We're men's men. Right. That dude, Wayne could right now go outside and run a marathon. That dude that's who he is.
Yeah.
He wins all of our races when we have our annual get together for celebrate the next year. So we just celebrated 6 years, and we'll do a 5K run walk. I'm the walker. So
I'll run
some
it.
folks
I
run
want to make content at that next one.
next June. The
Okay.
next June. Every June we do it.
All right. I want to run it. I want to make content at it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You're welcome. If you can keep up with that, man, you are. I saw you in the parking lot getting your high knees in and getting your workout in. Nice little form and all of that stuff. But he's a runner. A runner.
Yeah, I'm not a runner. I'll have to work. I got till June.
You got till June of next
I
year.
got time. Don't worry about it.
Get your 5K on. Yes, indeed.
Don't worry about it. I got that.
Yes, indeed. So
that's beautiful.
4 men came together to build a wellness company. I mean, these are the things that can happen for us when we allow God to lead us and not be, if, like I mentioned, we just celebrated 6 years in the business.
Congratulations. That's a tough thing, man. Like, I'm not even a year deep yet. I'm like praying,
Yeah. And the incredible part, even beyond just the fact that it's 6 years and God has blessed us, there were 8 companies that went before us trying to penetrate this market. And none of them even lasted 2 years. So, where we are, not only 6 years in business, we're in Canada, we're in Jamaica coming up. We just came into an agreement with the country of Ghana, with the person who is opening up Ghana. We are licensed in Nigeria. So, we are moving and shaking, helping
and
women.
Your model is interesting too, because you're not just making tampons and pads for women. You're doing it in a way that is less expensive to help affected communities that can't really afford stuff like that. Or you're doing donations. How does that work? What is your market?
Great question. Our sales lines, our margins are extremely thin on purpose so that our product can be afforded by communities that don't have the disposable income of some communities. Our predecessor, the last of the 8 companies that imploded, ended up selling itself to a high-end network marketing company, and they sold those products for $17 a pack, and they had around 150,000 units, and they sold out in about 6 months. Mm-hmm. They sold out, and their product can't touch our product. However, it was ultra absorbent and it was chemical free, which is the key component for us, is that our products are super absorbent. They're made to fit, and they have no chemicals whatsoever. Even our glue, our adhesive, is plant-based. So, and it's about 98% biodegradable as well.
Nice.
So we're helping in every aspect that you could imagine. Yeah, and
continue. So with that model, you're sustaining business, obviously.
Yes.
You're sustaining business on the small margins that you get, or what else are you doing to bring money into the company?
Absolutely. On the small margins. Look, we launched 6 years ago, right? So that means June of 2019, we launched. By December of 2020, through the pandemic, we grossed more than $3.5 million.
Yo.
On a $6 product.
That's what's up.
And with all of what was going on during 2020 and people jacking up prices, and prices are still elevating. It's ridiculous how businesses are gouging the public right now. Our product is still $6 a pack. With everything that this current administration is doing with bringing products into the country, we are determined that we're going to be we are customer driven. The end user is the most important person in our formula for success. And once we reach 1 million customers per month, we'll start thinking about an exit.
Okay. That's a beautiful model and a beautiful service that you're offering to communities that can't afford it. That's really commendable.
Thank you.
Tell me about Penn State. Do you mind talking a little bit about Penn State football? You played there, 4 years?
Yeah.
In one of the most controversial times in college football history, I would argue, right? Yeah. You want to tell us why?
For me personally, or for Penn State University?
Maybe start with Penn State and then go into you.
Yeah. Okay. So, Our defensive coordinator is still in prison now for crimes really against humanity, taking advantage of young boys who had already found themselves in situations where they needed help and needed a hand up. And, his sickness took control. And the crazy part is he was a football genius, an absolute genius. I mean, he could put together, he put together a defense that shut down Miami, that when we won the national championship, that caused Vinny Testaverde to throw 5 interceptions. He created the defense that really had shut down Oklahoma the year before when we played against Oklahoma for the national championship. One play. I mean, we were in the game. One play, 2 players were out, so a third string player was in, and a player went the wrong direction, ran into another one of our players with the perfect defense call. And Jamil Holloway throws a dump pass to Keith Jackson, and it's over. By player error, not because the defense wasn't right. He had put together, he was an absolute genius with regard to that. It's unfortunate that he obviously had a proclivity for young boys and was taking advantage of children. It's unfortunate. I certainly pray that the young men and the families that were impacted are doing better now. Post-traumatic stress is a real thing. So, that's why we pray even today for those young men, because they have grown into manhood. It's been a number of years now. And, even pray for Jerry that he come to a place where, he can forgive himself, and prayerfully that demon of child, what is it called when you mess with children? Pedophilia. That demon of pedophilia will be removed, has been removed from him, is what my prayer is, because, he was my coach. Did I agree with, now talking about the personal things, did I agree with how they treated me? Absolutely not. I lettered 4 straight years at 4 different positions while I was there. And it all began with a bunch of lies being told to me while I was in high school and being recruited, which, things could have been a whole lot different had they just told the truth about what they wanted to do and where they wanted to play me, how they wanted to use my giftedness and my talents. Things could have been a whole lot different. When I go back and talk about, when we look at what I said about, the first time I drank out of anger and drinking at someone else, I knew and said to myself that senior year was over, graduation. Once we graduated, that party, I was done. And now it's time to move on to what's next in life. And I put it away, put it down, and began my, training and all of what was necessary. So that was after the All-Star game. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm telling the truth here. Because the All-Star game, I didn't drink. 100%. So once we graduated, playing in the All-Star game and doing all of those things in high school was preparation for college. And then when the lying, the fact that, I grew up in a place and in an era where the best man played. I mean, I'm 6'3", and I started center on our basketball team as a sophomore as well. And we had 4 or 5 guys that were much taller than me that played, could play center and played forward and all those things, but they couldn't do what I could do on the court. They weren't
work ethic, I imagine.
Rebound like I could rebound. They couldn't play defense. Right. They couldn't do those things. And so I was a better teammate for the team. I was better for the team. And therefore I played. The fact that I played all of the positions that I played in football. Why? Because I did it at a high level. So, yeah, it was a 6'3", 230-pound running back.
It's a big running back. Fullback, right. I imagine, right?
No.
You were a 230-pound full halfback?
Halfback, yeah.
Jeez. A train.
I would shift from tight end to tailback and do all of these things. It was amazing because the coaches wanted to win, and to have an iconic coach tell you that I don't need to play you to win, which is why you're not playing after you break rules to come and recruit me to this place just didn't sit well with me. And
Sounds like you were groomed from high school, really, right? Almost.
groomed as what? What do you mean?
To be a football player, like they made sure you were staying in the program all the way to the NFL. It kind of seems like.
Well,
Was the college involved in your high school recruitment, like when you were a freshman and sophomore?
I started getting letters after sophomore season, 100%.
Okay.
I mean, I was, all conference and all county and, even I think I was like second or third team, I think all state as a sophomore. So I was getting letters already. The recruiting process absolutely had begun. I don't know if grooming is the right word. We were just.
You didn't have anybody there that was with you, like that showed up when you were a sophomore and kind of just stayed with you until you were in the NFL, like checking in every few months.
Well, when I mentioned Mr. Lewis and Mr. Choice, these were men who were made available, but they didn't lord over me by any sense. I mean, you got to remember this is back in the 80s. So, what happens nowadays is totally different, which is necessary because of name, image, and likeness, because these children, these youngsters have the capacity to make a great deal of money even before they get to college. So there's a need for men like myself, like yourself, who have integrity, to be around these youngsters and talk to them about financial security, financial acumen, literacy, and how do you present yourself? What is your image? What's the image you're portraying and bringing to the forefront, which is where we are today with Iron Recycling Incorporated, which, we are, I'm super excited before our time is up. How long are we on here for?
As long as you want. You light up when you talk about your company, and that's awesome. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a gift from God, brother. I mean, when as much harm as I did to communities for a long period of time, everywhere I went, I was a detriment. After my NFL career, once it was cut short by, I can't point the finger at everyone else. Sure, there were some things that didn't make sense, but I still didn't make the decisions that could have prolonged my career. And I look at that and say, you know what? The Lord probably saved me from being a quadriplegic. I could easily be rolling around in a wheelchair right now because of the way that I played, the aggressive nature. And I was just at San Francisco. I was just changing up how I played the game at linebacker and getting used to that. I would have loved to have seen me playing at that, because it was pretty amazing to see the fact that they had to take me off the field in order for the offense to get any real reps, because it didn't matter what was going on. I was destroying everything.
Football was different back there too. Like it was a different game in the 80s.
Absolutely.
Rules were different. You could put your head down and tackle people. Like, you guys were going nuts. Your padding and your helmets weren't as safe.
Not even close. I've got a couple of cracked helmets, Penn State and the NFL, Indianapolis, helmets that have splits in them from that very thing that you're talking about. So, and I live with the fruit of that. I live with it. But God has blessed me, shown me some things that I can use to help that are non-narcotic. Those doctors love to give you stuff, that pharmaceutical complex, and I'm going to say it on your show. I hope they don't block it, but the fact of the matter is God has put everything here on the earth for us, and all you have to do is some research to find it naturally, whatever it is that you need. And I'm saying that to all of my brothers and sisters out there that are listening, no matter what you have going on, spiritually, physically, mentally, God has placed the remedy right here in the earth. Do your research. Listen to those commercials when they tell you 1,500 side effects of the pill that they're trying to sell you. Pay attention to that, because it's real. Yeah. It is real.
Let's talk about unblinded and self-mastery, that kind of stuff. That you're doing now.
So that's one of the things that helped. I held up this bottle, but without the repetitions that I found at Unblinded. When I was introduced to Unblinded, I was on the pod show back in 2020, December of 2020. Back then it was called The Real Raw. I really enjoyed what we were doing. It was reminiscent of how we started I Am Recycling. When I started I Am Recycling, it was an LLC, job development for the formerly incarcerated, and my marketing partner, we would partnered with the number one Costco in the Midwest, which was up on 86th Street in Indianapolis. And we partnered with the manager there to bring businesses in for what we call lunch and leads. And each business owner would get 3 minutes to talk about who their ideal client was and who the ideal person that they would want to work with, not just a client, but who they would want to partner with. We didn't call it ecosystem merging, but that's really what it was about. Like who do you want? We collaborate is the word that we were using. Who would you want to collaborate with? Who's your ideal client, and who do you want to collaborate with? And everyone won because the businesses got an opportunity to meet other business people that were upwardly mobile and looking to grow their businesses. At the end of the meeting, the manager would then take those business owners through and get to sell his memberships to them. And the idea was that because we brought everyone together, that we would eat from a consulting perspective when the businesses merged and came together. Well, this is back in 2008, before the internet boom, before there was Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way to market was
mail. You had to send letters, paper.
Very, very costly.
Archaic,
and super costly.
Mm-hmm.
And we just didn't have the capacity to make it last. So when I saw what Shone had put together, it made perfect sense to me. And by March of the next year, I made a decision to go ahead and invest in myself, invest in Unblinded. And to be honest, when I started, number one, back in March of 2021, there's no way I could have been on your podcast for this long. Even, I was happy that the phone rang, because that was helpful for me.
Right.
To make and that's, I'm still learning to live with all of that. But I really needed to speak to him for the reasons that I told you. That's my man, and I love him, and I hadn't spoken with him in some time, and he just had some tragedy impact his life. And you know who we are. We are servants first and foremost of the Most High. And he got a chance to be on the pod show, and you got a chance to meet him.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll link to him in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely. And he'll be your nemesis for next year's 5K, brother.
Well, I'm coming for you, Wayne. I'm coming for you.
There you go.
There you go.
So starting with Unblinded, my attention span went from probably about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, before I was off somewhere else, to now I can, sit and be focused and drilled in for 20, 30 minutes at a time, sometimes even longer, depending on what's taking place and what's going on around me. And that's just from repetition. And that's one of the things that we do at Unblinded is the Unblinded formula is about process mastery, which is how you go from where you are to where you want to be in your goal setting. It's about self-mastery. How do I get myself to do the zone action of what's next, what's right in front of me? And integrous influence mastery, which is how do I go from hello to yes with an individual with integrity? And what that integrity looks like is that everyone wins, that I'm going to really give more than I take. And for me, answering the phone and giving you Wayne and giving Wayne you is my gift. That's a gift. That is how I see it. And it really begins with, I walk through them backwards on purpose, because integrous influence, everything is based in integrity with Unblinded. Without integrity, we can't search for the truth. And that's what it's all about. Having a conversation to get to the truth of the matter, that everyone wants more of something, either some, more money, which will give you opportunity to have more time to do the things that you want, which will give you the opportunity, even more money gives you the opportunity to create the magic in the world that you want to create and see, which, we are headed into that season of magic right now with the creation of the Elite Flag Football League, which is a global flag football league that's going to give I Am Recycling Incorporated a footprint in the 2028 Olympics. That is our goal.
Go.
I'm excited. The new team sport for the 2028 Olympics will be men's and women's flag football. And our first exhibition game will be October 11th in the dirty, dirty Jersey. We're going to be up in Montclair bringing forward the first exhibition football game, and it's going to be a Super Saturday. We're giving away over $20,000 worth of debit cards in 2 locations. One of our partners in Newark, because of Sean Callaghy, while we're talking about Unblinded, which is created and started by Sean Callaghy, and he went and found incredible partners, beginning with Tink Nicole Maiello, then Fernando Jesus Valencia, Fernando Jesus Valencia, excuse me, Fernando, and Adam Gugino, partnering with those 3 individuals to create Unblinded. And he's always had the Callaghy Foundation. He found out that we were in our second year of donating 150 cards in Montclair. He knew about it last year. And you met Sean. You see that he doesn't forget anything.
No, that man is focused. He's on point the whole time.
Yes.
He's very on point.
When he heard me talking about the second annual, he was like, I want to give 150. We're going to donate 150 cards. In fact, my meeting with him is coming up at the top of the hour, which is why we're going to have to bring this to
Tell him I said hello.
I will. I absolutely will. So that Super Saturday that I was mentioning is going to begin with Sean's donation of $11,000 worth of cards to the Hub, which is a 501c3 in Newark that has the programming that matches I Am Recycling Incorporated's youth programming to bring forth the industry of athletics, which is all of the careers that surround the playing surface. Everything from videography, trainers, all the way to the attorneys that write and read the contracts. So that's where we're going to start in Newark with that at 8:39 a.m. 11:30, we'll have the 100, actually it's 170 cards now that we're going to give out in Montclair. And then at 1 o'clock, we'll move right around the corner from the Montclair giveaway location to Nishwayne Park, where from 1 to 6 p.m. is going to be a family day with the multiple businesses that are in the medical space because of our athletes. The day will culminate with 2 flag football games, a women's game and a men's game, which those 2 teams will be playing against each other, vying for 10 slots on
the men versus women's.
Oh yeah, we've got.
Let's go. You could do that in flag football. I didn't even think of that.
Well, it's women's team and men's team. So they do have mixed teams, but for the Olympics, it's going to be women's and women. And our league is going to, from that day forward, will be about preparation for the Olympics. Period.
That's a big deal. Congratulations. Yeah. That's awesome.
So very, very, very excited about Super Saturday in Montclair. If you're anywhere near Essex County, New Jersey, on October 11th, please come to Nishwayne Park. You're going to see it's going to be an incredible family day. All 22 sports will be doing NFL-style combines for our youth and adults. So it's going to be a fun-filled day with a combine going on. We're going to have booths, job development, people who are actually doing on-the-spot interviews and on-the-spot hiring from all around, including Amazon, just a bunch of different names that people will know and recognize. We'll be out there with booths, talking to folks and giving opportunities for our adults as well as for our youth. Next Level will be there helping with the name, image, and likeness piece, helping the parents have the conversation with the children about what are you doing on social media? What image are you putting out there? Because you delete it doesn't mean it goes away. And many people don't realize that because you can't see it doesn't mean that they can't see it. And they have the security to go and find out who you really are. So that's what
awesome.
Super Saturday is going to be, brother.
All right. Well, that's a good spot to end. Where can the good people of the Almost Above Average, formerly Almost Above Average podcast find Quintus McDonald?
Oh, you can find me on social media at Quintus McDonald, on Facebook, Quintus McDonald, as well as the Montclair Junior Sports Academy MJSA, as well as I Am Recycling Incorporated on YouTube, not YouTube, on Facebook, Quintus McDonald on YouTube, Quintus McDonald on Instagram.
There it is. Quintus McDonald, thank you so much for doing this for me. I really appreciate it.
With you. Not for you. I did it with you.
With me.
Yes, sir.
Would you mind sending me your link? Do you have a link tree or all your socials in an email, and I'll post it to the show notes at the end.
I don't.
If you want, or anything you want.
I'd love to, but I don't have a link tree.
Oh, okay. I'll find it. All right, my brother.
We're looking for a social media person that would be.
I know a guy. I know a guy.
We'll have to have that conversation immediately.
We will. All right, brother. Well, enjoy your chat with Sean. Tell him I said hello, and you have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Bless you. Thank you, brother.
God bless you. Take care.